A couple weeks ago, I posted a little real 59-second video of two guys. One guy was a little bit of a meathead asking what really burns fat, and then the other guy was some type of trainer or something, and he kept answering this meathead. And that trainer kept saying that the only way to burn fat and to get lean is to get on a caloric deficit. None of my videos ever really have gone viral, but that video got a little bit of views, and I got some cool comments on it. One comment said that I'm not right, but I'm also not wrong. And there was another comment saying like, this video is just straight up stupid. You know what? Those comments are kind of true, because being on a caloric deficit is not the whole story. If you can literally burn fat just by being on a caloric deficit, then you can get on a crash diet and burn fat. But as you probably know by now, that doesn't work, right? Because your body wants just one thing, and I hope you know by now what that one thing is. And that one thing your body wants at all times, 24/7, it is to survive. In Spanish, tu cuerpo solo quiere sobrevivir. And in Dutch, je lichaam wil alleen overleven. So in this video, I want to explain to you what really burns fat. And in order to do that, let's go back to the most important equation when it comes to fat loss. It is calories in versus calories out. When your calories in are more than your calories out, then blah, blah, blah. When your calories out are more than your calories in, then blah, 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 blah. It's really that simple. And if you're thinking, nah, it can't be that simple because I've been doing that, I've been watching my calories and I'm not losing weight, then really you haven't been watching your calories. So let's dissect this real quick. What is your calories in? Your calories in can only be one thing. One thing only. It can only be one thing. Calories in is determined by just one thing, and that is the food you eat. And to make it even more simple, it's the amount of food you eat. It doesn't even really matter what the quality is of the food. Your calories in is determined by the amount of foods that you eat. Now let's talk about calories out. Calories out is determined, first off, by your age. The younger you are, the more calories you burn. It's also determined by your height. The taller you are, the more calories you burn. It's also determined by your weight. The heavier you are, the more calories you burn. Now the fourth aspect that determines how many calories you burn is by far the most important one. So if you're watching this and you're not really paying attention, I want you to sit down, shut off all your distractions, and really pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is the key to you successfully losing fat and keeping it off for the rest of your life. And this is also something that, with all due respect, I'm shooting this video in summer 2022. Most of society is becoming so weak and timid and fragile and flaccid. And also the media is catering to all these weak and vulnerable people. And this whole entire predicament that the world is in right now can be solved by one thing. And this one thing is the fourth determinant of how many calories you burn every single day, and it is your muscle. How much muscle do you have on the frame of your body? Because the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn at rest. Muscle also keeps you strong. It protects your bones. It makes you able to do more things. It gives you more endurance. It protects your immune system. I guarantee if you pack on some muscle, your life will get 10 times better. And the fifth component is kind of overrated. People overrate it. They do it too often because when you're overweight, a lot of times you have this flab right here and you just feel like, nah, you just want to burn it off. The fifth component is cardio. Most people mistakenly think that the more cardio you do, the more fat you burn. But here's what you need to know about the difference between cardio and having muscle. When you do cardio, you burn calories when you do the cardio. When you build muscle, that muscle will forever burn calories as long as you keep that muscle on your frame. Yes, cardio is a great way to burn calories, but at the same time, if you do too much of it, then what does your body want to do? Your body wants to survive, right? So if you start doing these extreme sessions of cardio where you burn 500, 600, 800 calories in one session, and your body wants to achieve homeostasis and how many calories it burns, and it will reduce its metabolism, it will reduce the amount of calories it burns outside of the cardio session. So technically, you're just doing cardio and the calories that you burn are being made up for by your body because it's going to reduce its metabolism. Which brings me back to the muscle part. If you want to lose fat, building muscle is infinitely better than doing cardio. And this is also why you want to be strategic in the types of cardio that you do if you want to burn fat. The best types of cardio to burn fat are either the very light cardio, like going for walks, going for hikes, stuff where you keep your heart rate under about 130 beats per minute. And then there's the really intense cardio, like the sprints, where your body doesn't have enough time to produce the muscle killing hormone called cortisol. With that said, for me personally, when it comes to cardio, I try to hit 10,000 steps every single day. That's my light cardio. And right now, honestly, I'm only doing sprints once a week. And it may not sound like a lot, but it's better to do sprints once a week for years on end than do some crazy cardio workout for 3-4 days a week and then quit, because you burn out, not just because of the impact that you put on your joints and your nervous system and all the cortisol. You're also going to burn out by the lack of results that you're getting, because it's only human nature that when you do a bunch of cardio that you expect the number on the scale to go down, but that's just not how it works. You got to build muscle. And determinant number 6 of how many calories you burn plays a huge role in how much muscle you build, and more importantly, how much muscle you keep. This is, I would say, the most underrated determinant of how many calories you burn. Hardly anyone, especially in America, gets it in, because we have sayings like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got a lot of dreams, and sleep ain't one of them. Sleep is for losers. But I like the saying that goes, there's only a couple of stupid people in the world, maybe 2 or 3, but they all show up in your day when you don't get enough sleep. Determinant number 6 is sleep. The quality of your sleep, the quality of your sleep, and how much sleep you get. If you get less than 7.5 hours of sleep, you are leaving muscle on the table. If your sleep right now sucks, then just focus on getting a half hour more, because that half hour can improve your muscle preservation and also the amount of fat you burn tremendously. Like, we got all this equipment, we got squat racks in here, we got GHDs, we got weights, we got a reverse hyper, we got all this exercise equipment in here, right? But what's the number one piece of equipment? It is not right. I mean, I could put one right here. The number one piece of equipment that builds all the muscle and burns all the fat is your bed. Determinant number 7 is the exact same thing that is on the calories inside, and it is your food. But let me explain real quick. The quality of your food will also determine how many calories you burn every single day, because single ingredient food, real food, will keep your metabolism higher. So in other words, if you eat healthy foods, you will burn more calories while you're at rest. And ironically, the quality of your food is kind of like your sleep as well, because the quality of your food and the quality of your sleep determines how much muscle you have. Because if you don't get any quality proteins in, then yeah, you're gonna have a very hard time building muscle, because protein repairs your muscle. And also, if you don't get any carbs in, you're not gonna have a lot of energy to work out, and when you don't have energy to work out, you won't build any muscle either. And then when it comes to your fats, that's gonna lead me into determinant number 8 of how many calories you burn every single day, and that's one that hardly anyone ever talks about. It's your hormones. Go to any public space in America and just do a 360 and just look around, and you can tell that almost all men suffer from low testosterone these days. The levels of your testosterone, they will climb all the way until you're about 25 years old. And after that age of 25, you start losing testosterone every single year. But it is very important to keep your testosterone levels high. And how do you keep your testosterone levels high? You guessed it, by the quality of your food, the quality of your sleep, and also by how much muscle you have. More specifically, when it comes to your workouts, if you want to keep your testosterone high, focus on doing big lifts and try to break records. Try to lift the most amount of weight you've ever lifted on, let's say, a deadlift or a squat or a bench press, because you always want to be improving yourself. That keeps your testosterone high. If you always just cruise through your workout, you're not giving your body any reason to produce any testosterone. Also, if you look at deadlifts, they use up to 80% of all your muscle at the same time. If you're doing exercises that use all that muscle all in one rep, then you're telling your body, like, hey, we got to boost our testosterone up in here, otherwise we're not going to survive. And in my little reel that I did, there was another thing that I talked about. What about fat burners? I'm just going to take a bunch of fat burners. So let's make determinant number 9 fat burners, of how many calories you burn. Now that's actually not really a determinant of how many calories you burn, because the best thing about fat burners is their name. People that know better, and I don't blame them. They see fat burners, they're like, okay, cool, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to burn some fat. But really what fat burners do is they kill your appetite. So that really affects more of the calories inside, so that you eat less calories. But the issue with that is that fat burners suck. If you want a fat burner and you want to kill your appetite, put some cinnamon over your foods. Whenever you take all those chemical substances in, basically if you take supplements that most people take, you will be messing with your hormones. A lot of times you will be messing with the quality of your sleep. And what does that do? That kills muscle, and then that also reduces the amount of calories that you burn. So now how do you burn fat? Well, remember, your body is smart. Your body wants to survive. You get on a slight caloric deficit that your body thinks it will survive on. The less calories you eat, the more your body will shut off its non-essential functions. In other words, if you start starving yourself, you'll start getting mood swings, and then also if that's low calories, what's gonna happen? That's gonna mess with your muscle, it's gonna mess with your hormones, it's gonna mess with the quality of your sleep, and you're also not getting any nutrients in, so you're really messing yourself up. And this is something I'm gonna have to say for the rest of my life, because I don't blame you. You want results fast. You gained weight over the last 2 years, and you wanna lose it in the next 2 weeks. I'm not making fun of you. It's just human nature to want it overnight. And that's why liposuction facilities and surgeons will always have clients, and actually I think their business is about to be booming. By 2030, like half of America is gonna be obese if we're not there already. With that said, if you look at everything that comes into account, like calories in versus calories out, really what do you control? You can't control your age, you can't control your height. You can indirectly control your weight, but that comes as a result from you controlling how much muscle you have, how much sleep you get, the quality of your food, and of course, how much food you eat. So, definition of stress is to spend emotional energy on stuff you cannot control. But if you look at all this, determine what can you control, put your energy into that, and then on top of all that, sprinkle, like you're sprinkling cinnamon over your cottage cheese and your oatmeal, sprinkle some patience over this whole entire approach and strategy, and that right there will give you the everlasting formula for fat loss where you get lean and you stay that way. So does this make sense? I sure hope it does, because there's really, like, this is it. There's no secret, there's no shortcut. I mean, this is it. Now, did you like this video? Did you? Then go ahead and hit like. You want to share it maybe with somebody who needs to hear it, like your coworkers or something like that, or maybe your husband or your wife. Go ahead and share it, or do me a huge favor and leave me a comment. And if you don't agree with me, leave me a comment. If you do agree with me, leave me a comment. Remember, if you have a little bit of flab right below your belly button, like you're sitting down right now, and you can grab a roll and just get on a slight caloric deficit. Add some patience in. Trust me, in about 6 to 12 months, you'll be looking great.